the difference between some of us who are Chelsea fans and, the other people that I'm talking about, the difference between us and them is we are sincere when we discuss our team.
Chelsea at the bridge against Luton Town. Chelsea won this one 3-0 for the first time in a little bit. The team looked fluid. The transition was beautiful to see in the eye. All of a sudden, we are seeing the Raheem Sterling that we saw in later days in Liverpool and continued in Man City after playing with Pep Guardiola. Throughout last season, everybody was questioning the rationale behind signing him from City because he offered practically nothing to Chelsea last season. But since the beginning of this season, we are beginning to see signs of the Raheem Sterling that we saw in at the Etihad and Liverpool. He grabbed 2 goals in this game. Yeah, some can say it's only Luton Town. They just came from the Championship to EPL. What do you expect? No, but if you watch that game, you will see there is a little shift in mentality and philosophy in the way Chelsea plays. I still don't believe that squad is balanced. They still have a lot of work to do. But in this one, they looked different. Their play going forward was tantalizing in the eyes to watch. And they grabbed the 3 points with 3 goals in this one. Chim, I know you can't wait to jump on this. Can you give us what do you think is the reason for this new, though it's still early days, but there are signs of new things coming to the bridge. How did you see that game? What are your thoughts on the game, and what do you think Chelsea did differently to get these goals on the 3 points?
You see, the difference between some of us who are Chelsea fans and, the other people that I'm talking about, the difference between us and them is we are sincere when we discuss our team. But whenever I look at our Snap fans, I laugh. The reason I laugh about them is they attribute everything good in other teams to them. I saw Choma discussing how beautiful Barcelona played like Arsenal. When I listen, I get frustrated because they don't tell themselves the truth. But I'm not talking about them now. I only want to discuss about Chelsea. If you, as a sincere Chelsea fan, I don't attach importance. I'm not so, I don't put my sentiments when I discuss Chelsea. I discuss Chelsea, irrespective of any attachment. That game we played on Friday, I honestly felt like after Chelsea scored their first goal, that spirit that Tuchel brought in Chelsea when he divorced his wife and became depressed and he didn't know what to do again, came back to Chelsea. Chelsea lost focus. It became like the Chelsea that was not doing anything the last season. We became worried. People were not, the energy wasn't there. I don't know if it's because the new team, Luton Town, something came into them. They felt like, what, this is Chelsea. Let us try and show them what we can do. But eventually, Raheem, Sterling, I always tell people that there is something in him. There is a spirit that always pushes people that I see in him. There is this thing about the blue blood that runs in people that are, that I've seen coming into the days, those things you see with the likes of Drogba, the likes of Lampard, our own Makaleles, Chelsea legends. I'm beginning to see it in Raheem. Raheem, lifted the spirit of the team and we overcame. I would tell people that I wasn't totally happy with the way we played after we scored the first goal.
Mm-hmm.
But immediately the second goal came. That Chelsea spirit, that never say die, that we can do it by ourselves, that ability to conquer every obstacle, that one man Royal squad mindset, we against the world, came back. and we scored an additional goal and we wrapped up the game. I was pleased that we scored the 3 points.
I don't know if somebody didn't watch this Chelsea game, just like Chima mentioned, we think Chelsea ran over Luton Town in this match. Can you talk us through a few concerns, or if there are any different from what Chima said that you noticed in that game that could have, spin the game around, if there is any?
Yeah, Chima, see the wonderful words he used to describe Chelsea's performance, and because they won the game. This Chelsea fans. Anyways, yeah, it was the game had transitions. You see that what they say, they have games in games, right? Chelsea struggled. Actually, first half, I was watching first half towards the end of the first half. I was like, Chelsea should be beating these guys by 4-5-0 by now. From what I was seeing, because I saw a very timid Luton side that wasn't even trying to, attack Chelsea, trying to take the game to them. They mainly just tried to contain, Chelsea. Chelsea, their passing transitions were very good, but I saw Nicholas Jackson all over the place, hustling and bustling, and but
Yeah.
that was it. He wasn't anywhere near dangerous once he got near the 18-yard box, which was quite remarkable. But then Raheem Sterling was on top of his game right from the first minute. That's probably his best game I've seen him play for Chelsea in a while.
Mm-hmm.
He was on it, moving, and the goal he scored. That's typical Raheem Sterling at his best. He took everyone on, didn't care about them, cutting, dribbled, and then took a shot at the right time. And so I expected Chelsea after that Raheem goal to step on the gas and score more goals. But the two people I noted that were really on it and trying were Raheem Sterling and Enzo Fernandez. The rest seemed to be kind of lethargic. They were not really on it. For the second half, to be honest, I didn't watch everything, but I heard that Luton Town finally summoned up some courage and tried to play in the second half. But of course, it was too late. Chelsea then hit them with 2 more goals. Chelsea are looking like a team in transition and growing. They are getting better, by the day as we go. We want to see what they will do between now and the end of the transfer window, and see whether they invest in a striker that can score goals, because that will make a whole lot of difference for them. Apart from that, their team looks good. Defense, although, looks a little slow. I was surprised today to hear that Chalobah might be leaving for Bayern Munich. I think that would be a mistake. But of course, Chelsea can do and undo. They buy and sell as they wish. So we'll see how that goes.
We sell our chaps to people.
Yeah, Choma,
did you? A bunch of chaps to Arsenal.
Choma, do you have anything to add to this one before I wrap up? Then we can move to other game. Did you watch the game? What did you see?
Dear Chelsea, Chelsea. I love you guys. And now I'm more in love with you because you've got the pace-setting Pochettino, which trying to put you all together. I think somewhere on Sky Sport or something, he made a comment about how he's about winning and not just doing a good job. And I went like, yo, if you know what is good for you, winning and doing a good job is what you have to do, because these Chelsea people, sometimes their head they touch. Do you understand? So let me just come in here. Okay, now we see Enzo is finally stepping up to the 120 something that they gave to him, that he's carrying on his shoulder. Okay, I see what he's doing, and for the first time, Chima, I want to say that I think Enzo is what how much you guys spent on him. He's no Kante, but okay. He's young and he's looking good. And then Raheem, Chelsea fans, is the disrespect for me. Okay. I was not even a Liverpool fan when Sterling was there. I was not a Man City fan when he was there. And all of a sudden, he moves to Chelsea. And I just love him personally as a footballer. And he got to Chelsea, and the fans are being very disrespectful. It's either they're talking about, his height, how he doesn't get them any aerial duels. I'm like, how is he going to get it? You're looking at his size. What are you looking at it for? The most important thing is when you have a man like Raheem in your team, you know what to do. Make sure your midfield is working. Put the ball on the ground. And he can make things happen. Raheem is one player that can take the ball from behind and run through all the wings and still score a goal, which was what he did that day. So Chima, really, if you guys are going to get anywhere near where I think you people deserve for all the 1 billion something you guys are putting into your sport, no disrespect to Raheem, seriously. Let's play his kind of game for once. That's what I think.
Yeah, I hear you. I think one of the
speak on the good game that Chelsea played. No, I don't see any Chelsea fan today.
But I just
said
said that.
Chelsea fan today that is killing Raheem.
You didn't hear me. I said Enzo.
When in the beats on this,
I don't see any Chelsea fan today that is killing Raheem. Just speak of the positive things that Chelsea did.
I said Enzo.
Don't
if anything, if I may come in here, you are the one that is even talking more of the negative things about the game.
Exactly.
You only managed to acknowledge that they scored 3 goals.
I mentioned Enzo. Enzo is manning the midfield finally.
For me, just on what Chima was saying, I think that him himself mentioned it in one of the interviews recently. In the last season, he was playing with his back to the goal, but this time around, the way the team is playing, he's more angled in his positioning in the team, which gives him the ability to run at players and do what he knows how to do best. But there's something about Chelsea that I've identified recently, and I'm going to mention one player, Ben Chilwell. He's supposed to be a left wing back or a left back, but you always find him at the end of Chelsea moves.
On the other side.
Most of the time, he arrives late in the box and he's making things happen around that area, because right now, Chelsea don't really have a real number 10. I don't know if this is a ploy by Pochettino to use him that way, and he is really doing a good job of that. He's one player that I've been watching. I've watched in the last 3 games Chelsea has played now so many times in the game during the transition. He always arrives in the box either as the last person in the action or the man to give the final pass. So he's causing a lot of chaos in opponents' box, and I hope that teams watch out for that.
Did you hear that?
If that is not taken care of, it's going to hurt a lot of teams going forward. But talking about Luton, I don't think their game was completely bad. Like we wouldn't say, they started very slow. Of course, we expect that they came to the bridge, they wouldn't be that confident. But as the game grew, they grew in confidence and actually kept the ball very well. For me, the only reason why they lost that game was because of sloppy defending. It looked like they were unsure how to tackle and defend. But in terms of the proper midfield and going forward, as the game progressed, they grew in confidence and they are technically sound as well. But of course, like you said earlier on, if you don't take your chances or take your chances when you are in ascendancy, once it flips, it just evaporates on you, and before you know it, your 3 goes down, which was what happened. Jackson, I've been watching him to see what is going to scare me if I were to be a rival coach or player. I've not really seen much. The only thing I can attribute to him is he works hard. He wears defenders out, but he doesn't look intelligent. He doesn't look like a player who understands the dynamics of scoring goals. So maybe that's one job right there for Poch to do. The good thing is that he has the energy and he's willing to work. But sometimes his work is done at the wrong places. It reminds you of a Jesus. But Jesus, the difference is Jesus at least will hold on the ball, get past players and make space for other people to score goal. But this guy, he's running all over the place. I've been trying to see what what to grab, what to hold on to, him to be the player to lead Chelsea this season. I don't know if I'm afraid I cannot, I won't back him to be Chelsea's main striker this season. He can surprise us going for maybe this goal that he scored last weekend is going to give him confidence, and from there he will understand, because that was the only one time he actually stayed in that box and he got his goal. So probably it might be a shift in mentality for him going forward, and we'll see a different striker in Nicholas Jackson. So
Do you know Chelsea fans are comparing
Reggie, let me
Robert?
say,
okay, go
let
ahead.
me weigh in a bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I remember, also when I was on the last show, I think I put Chelsea somewhere. And I want to, for me, Chelsea is majorly a team of potentialities for now, and it's really up to Poch how he manages, this disruption that the owner has caused in the club. For a team that sold literally like 12 players, in one season. I mean, and then brought in another horde of players. So it's nobody should really expect realistically any magic, from that squad. But that does not rule out that it has a great potential. Selling the likes of Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Kovacic, Aubameyang, Loftus-Cheek, N'Golo Kante, Aspilicueta, Bakayoko, even Baba Rahman of old, I even forgot that Chelsea had a player like that, and then bringing in Fofana and the rest of them that also have left or loaned out. So I bring in a whole set of new players who are trying to find,
their way.
Actual identities. It's not something anybody should, feel that or rate Chelsea where you rate teams like Man City or Arsenal. So whatever they do this season, it's out of the potential that they have. So because when you're speaking of someone like you still have people like Thiago Silva in the squad. That's some spine that is left behind, to give direction and leadership to the squad, and it's a good thing for them. If people, somebody like the guy you mentioned, Ben Chilwell, can learn from Thiago Silva and show up and take responsibilities, make the runs that Thiago Silva normally makes up front, while having him, cover the backs. And coming to Raheem Sterling, it's not, I don't hate Raheem Sterling, but for me, I like to find out why coaches make some decisions they make. This guy was in Man City, and we know one of the biggest problems of Raheem Sterling is intelligence and decision making. He was not able to cut in through Pep Guardiola's squad because it would have been difficult for him. Just put him in that Pep squad and see whether he'll give you what Pep demands. It's not just possible. And he's not somebody because he's got a couple of goals and then he has arrived. No, that guy is, and one of his biggest problems is inconsistency. You understand? You got somebody that will just flash in the pan. Today he has got 2 goals. Tomorrow you see him running all over the place and missing all the chances. I mean, Chelsea should, if there's a striker in the market, they should go and get him. I know they still have issues with Lukaku.
Lukaku today he has agreed to join Roma on loan.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so
good for him. Let
that
him
case for
battle with.
Yeah, for now he's close.
More over there.
Yeah.
So Chelsea still has a problem in the strike force. Although I know they have some other players like Modric and Enzo. Those guys love space and all of that, but it's not going to be just easy for them. So there's still a lot of identities that needs to establish themselves in the squad. So, but if I believe in what Poch wants to do, he can sack them up. No, I can't write them off, in the mix of the Premiership and the challenge this season. It's still early days, and they can still spring up surprises, and they have to do it real quickly.
Yeah, Chima, before I know you want to respond to that, Chima, do you have anything to say? But before you go, just to support what he's saying, I think Chelsea, the problem with the team is they have a lot of players, but it's still not a balanced squad. There are so many positions where you don't have depth. Like today, if anything happens to Thiago Silva, Chelsea probably will concede 5 goals in one game because the rest of the players at that back don't have enough experience and it doesn't look like they're ready for the fight yet. So, and unfortunately, we'll just have how many days to the end of the transfer window. I don't think there's any much they're going to do right now, other than for Chelsea fans and whoever that's connected to the club to wait to pray that nothing happens to Thiago Silva, because I've been looking at it. I don't see where they go without him this season. Though luckily for them, they only have the league and maybe FA Cup to worry about. They're not in Europe this season. So Chipa, do you have anything to add to what you said?
The only thing I wanted to chip in is, so oftentimes people discuss Chelsea without respect. They discuss Chelsea with a wave of hand. Mr. Jude, I don't know your team in Premiership. It's always good for people to identify themselves. Let's know where they're coming from. Let's know whether they are speaking out of malice. If they are malicious in their in their submission, or they are just being fair. You just spoke about Chelsea without, I don't
emotion.
know. I'm not just emotion. Just when you speak about somebody without care, regard, just with a wave of hand.
Let's carry you for like babies.
Chelsea is running here and there.
Ugum, you're quiet.
Yeah, well, I'm only being realistic from my own point of view. I don't know how you want me to discuss. I don't know what adjectives you want me to use, or prefixes or suffixes. You want me to use for Chelsea. It's a program. You're free to say, if you're a Chelsea fan, you can drive the conversation the way you want. But I told you based on my convictions, what I feel about the sport. These are things we follow. We're all football fans.
But fair enough.
I don't know what I've said.
Let me tell you what angered me in the way he presented. He said Chelsea sold 12 players. And in discussing the quality, hold on. In discussing the quality players that Chelsea sold, let me tell you, an average Chelsea fan, that is why, sometimes, I don't know, I was discussing with one of my Arsenal friends. I've told him, I laughed. Anytime I call him, I will thank him for Arsenal buying Jorginho and from us. I will thank him. This weekend he called me saying, he told me that he now discovered what I've been saying all these years, that he discovered it about Kai Havertz and also about this other guy, Jorginho.
Okay.
He said that Chelsea sold 12 solid players and were buying left and right. In those 12 solid players that Chelsea sold, the only player that an average Chelsea fan regrets their leaving, let me say 2. 1 is Kante. 2 is Kovacic. The rest, we are happy. And not only that we are happy, all the rest, you mentioned Mason Mount. Are you close to any Man U fan and see how they cry about Mason Mount? You mentioned Kai Havertz, an independent-minded Arsenal fans, not all these ones here, that see the truth and call it lie, and see lie and call the truth. A fair-minded Arsenal fan will tell you that they don't know, the mindset behind buying Kai Havertz and Jorginho in their squad. Who again? You mentioned Bakayoko, but is Bakayoko a Chelsea player? Has he played for Chelsea in years? What is wow? In years, I'm not saying season, in years.
Chelsea
Who again?
Chelsea signed him 40 million when 40 million was 40 million.
Yeah, but we send him with the
well.
hope that he was coming. You know, I tell people if I'm signing players, I'm not going to sign an Italian player or a player that plays in the Italian league to come and play in Premiership for me. I will sign the bulk of my midfield and defense will be Premiership players. Then if I'm looking for an attacker, I will go Brazil, I will go North America. No, South America, please. I go South America and look for those players, as my attacking lineup. But to go to Spain to buy a striker or go to Italy to buy I would rather go to France. Either France or I come to South America to buy players. But I don't want to overlabor this. The only thing I'm saying is whenever you discuss, obviously you all know where I'm coming from. If I'm speaking, you already know I am Chelsea fan and I speak sincere about Chelsea and I give Arsenal honest criticism. Honest. I'm not malicious when I speak about Arsenal. So when you discuss,
you are very malicious.
You're not in the lockout. What you just not established what I spoke wrong.
Chima,
So the truth of the matter is that the only thing you mentioned or you collaborated with me was that Chelsea sold a lot of players. And I remember when I started, I said that there's a disruption at Chelsea. You don't say a team, Arsenal wake up tomorrow and dispatches of that, 15 players in a squad, and then you tell me it's not.
I'm saying another.
I'm saying another, almost an equal amount, and you tell me it's not disruption. So we're stating facts here. I'm not just talking. So I'm not as emotional as you are. So I think that's where you have to drive.
I want to hear what you say. You say that I'm malicious when discussing us. I want to hear you.
If I don't want to, like my friend Jude, right? Like he just said,
he's an Arsenal fan. Go ahead.
Reggie knows me very well. I'd rather not go. What you just said in the last submission you made was completely childish. Let me just leave it at that. Let's move on. I don't want to take that up. There's no point.
Though when you appeared on this show, you said it that when it comes to Chelsea, you're unapologetic about it. So I understand the emotions. But if you listen to him very well, one of the things that he mentioned was that he acknowledged the fact that there's a lot of potentials in the team. The only problem Chelsea has right now, which is what I've also said, both the person and I were talking with you and on this show, is that the movement in and out of players is too much, and it's going to take time. Again, before this transfer window opened, the worry was how Chelsea was going to get rid of the players that they don't want, to be able to trim down the squad to what a number that the coach can manage and use to get results for Chelsea. The transfer window started. Chelsea started very well and sold players. I don't care. I don't want to know about their qualities. Most important thing is that the coach has looked at these players and feel that these ones can go. Let me have reasonable number to work with. But all of a sudden, they even added more numbers to make the squad even bigger than what it was before they started the clear out. So right now, they are still in the same mess. That's what he was talking about. And this thing is caused by the owner because they came in with no plan, throwing money left, right, and center.
Reggie, and nobody has, you're even getting into, nobody has any right. You come here and you say anything you want to say about Chelsea, and you claim to be factual, you claim to be sincere, you claim to, and I come and I say what I want to say about Arsenal, and you accuse me of not being truthful, just coming to lie. You accuse me, you say I don't know what I'm saying because I'm saying what I want to say about Arsenal, but you want me to believe what you're saying about Chelsea. Isn't that, Chima, I don't want to use insulting words, but you insulted me by the last thing you said.
No,
right?
It's okay. When football is discussed,
we can analyze football if you want to talk and allow another person talk and listen to what the person says. If you dismiss what somebody is saying because they're wearing an Arsenal jersey or because you believe the person is an Arsenal fan, then there's no point doing what we're doing. We're wasting our time.
No. But what did I say wrong about?
Let's move on.
Whenever I discuss Arsenal with respect. I don't discuss Arsenal with the way fan.
So what everything I said this evening, have I disrespected Chelsea in any way? Jude, did you disrespect Chelsea in any way?
Yes.
What's the way for
No. One thing I found out I'll try to work on personally is, you see, this game football, as beautiful as it is when people say Arsenal fans are passionate, they're emotional, I laugh. Everybody is emotional.
They are the most emotional.
Everybody is emotional towards
They
their
are the
team.
most emotional.
So once I have realized that, it's beginning to help me listen to people when they talk. And there are different opinions to just one thing in a game. Everybody sees it from a different dimension. So I've learned to respect people with their opinion, but I will also voice mine. So, Lechima, like I said, I understand the emotion. It's your club. The same thing might happen to me. Somebody talking about Arsenal, because I want to be seen. I want to see my club, not to be seen as doing good. So we leave it at that and we move. But most important thing, and everybody knows it, is very clear that Chelsea is a team in transition this season. They have got the 3 points. They've managed to score 3 goals in a game, which they have not done in a very long while. I understand the euphoria, I understand the joy, the happiness, but we still know that there are cracks on the wall. Chelsea is still looking for a striker. Chelsea is still in the market. That's the interesting thing, to tell you that what we're saying here is not wrong. Chelsea is still in the market. They are still looking for players to buy, which means they understand the fact that that squad is still not balanced. But I mean, no team is going to have a perfect squad.